Sasquatch, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman, or Wolf County, need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
Well, this here's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, and I've got my notes open. I've got my camera all set, and I have pulled up my balls, ready to podcast.
And I'm the internet Sean Baby. That worm, Marco roared. Worms can kill. I started up the steps. Franco, he called after me. I turned, yes, Kuzin. Alexander Kuzin, KGB. Thanks. For what? I never asked, right? I said, and I never answered, Marco replied, without cracking a smile. Jorgo, behind the wheel, said nothing. As for Marco, I saw him years later when Voyo brought him by the set of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Lionheart. Not long afterward, he died in a shootout with the LAPD at an LA restaurant not more than 10 minutes from my house. But not before he killed the officer who shot him.
And I am New York Times bestselling author Jason Pargin. I apologize if it looked like on the Zoom call, like my camera had frozen there for a moment. That was actually just my reaction.
Worms can kill. Well, they can't. Like
everyone in that conversation was having a different conversation.
and it's cool that he killed the cop that shot him. I mean, I guess I think so. I didn't think Frank Dukes would think so.
Since we know the specific circumstances and the location, we could look this up, right? Like, that's got to be a documented, like, police shootings are actually rare.
Yeah, it's hard to lie about that. You would have to verify. And they would probably also say this guy was a KGB assassin when they killed him?
Or was that a different guy? Marco, I think, was the guy who shot the cop who shot him, which, again, would probably be an easy police report to find. Also, he's one of the guys from Lionheart. He only fought like 7 guys in Lionheart.
And let me again reiterate, whenever we say we love that book so much, we are not endorsing any other views of Frank Dukes. I realize that we have actually paid a lot of money for copies of his book. I'm assuming that money doesn't go directly to him.
No, there's no. I would not be paying him the money if he did. Here's some bummer news to start the podcast along. Have you seen they're doing an A24 reboot of Bloodhouse? Bloodsport.
Oh, Bloodhouse would be good.
No, they
bouncer
better not ever.
They go in the ring to find the best bouncer. I guess that's just Roadhouse anyway.
God, never. They would never. You can't reboot Bloodhouse. It's such a classic. But no, Bloodsport.
They're making a Bloodsport with like a. Who's the artist? There's like an artistic director, Michaela. I can't remember her name, but yeah, I love the idea.
Are you joking about this? Is all of this real?
This is a real thing.
This is real.
They're going to do an art house style Bloodsport reboot.
So that means Frank Dukes has to be involved, right? This is 100%. His life story.
This is his life story. At the very least, they're giving him more money for the best lie that has ever been told in Hollywood. We're gonna re-spotlight the Frank Dukes lie. Like, we're gonna bring him back into the spotlight.
Well, wait a second. You don't think Bloodsport happened? Oh,
He's going to get invited to the Oscars. Man, they're going to, hopefully he doesn't say anything problematic that would cause issues with the production.
he's already bought socks in the color of the Oscar curtains so he can creep around the walls.
They'll never know he was there.
Oscar's red.
Oh, God.
I forget what we're doing. I think we're supposed to talk about mountain monsters. Before we do that, how about we plug our stuff? Jason.
Yes, my next book, Book 5 in the John Dies at the End series, is up for pre-order now. It is called There Are No Giant Crabs in This Novel, a novel of giant crabs. You can get the buy links at bit.ly/crabs. It is the word crabs 3 times, all lowercase. Yes, that is the URL. Yes, that is the real title. bit.ly/crabs.
Still the shitpost champion over here. Nobody's gonna beat you. Sean, what'd you like to plug today?
We produced a website called 1-900-HOT-DOG, and you can go to patreon.com/1-900-HOT-DOG to support it and this podcast.
And the last of human art and endeavor.
Right. There's only about 10 people left writing funny articles on the internet, and they all work for us.
Yep, we got them. We got them all. I, of course, am legally obligated to promote my new book. It's called I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200. It's out now. It's getting incredible reviews. My favorites are the ones that are just mad at me because I tricked them and betrayed them with the book. Because it's got this cute cover and it's got a little quirky title. And I'm generally a goofy dipshit, but especially about promoting it. And then they go read the book and like, haha, you got me. I'm going to have a good time here. And then find themselves emotionally devastated by the end. I think that's very funny. It makes me laugh a lot when you tell me that. Because I made you feel stuff with words, you fucking idiots. I got you so good.
Now, is the fancy edition with the sprayed edges, is that still available for people, or is that...
There might be copies circulating out there. That was for the first run of books only, so there were a few thousand of those made.
I got one of those.
But we are on the 4th, maybe 5th print run at this point. So only the first will have those.
I apologize for promoting an element of the operation that people cannot actually have.
You can't have that. If you love that, you can't have that.
Jamie, blur out, when I held it up, just blur it out.
There might be copies, floating. It depends on like how fast they're moving out of bookstores, because it's the bookstores that are buying them. So if you see one, you better snap it up. That's going to be worth like, I don't know. How much is Frank Dukes' book worth? $150?
Something like that.
Half that? 75 maybe someday?
Half a Dukes? That's pretty good.
I mean, depending on how many guys I kill and then lie about between now and whenever that point we're talking about is.
My copy of Brockway's book had $300 in it. Because the facility where they print the money and where they print the book, sometimes like money will blow into the pages. So yeah, it was like $650 bills. I'm not saying yours will have that. I think only like half of them do, but
mine had like 11 finger bones, and the only text in the entire book was, "I just need a place to hide this for a few weeks." And I was like, "That's a pretty good book." Very.
Yeah, I'd like to customize my books for my friends. I give them what they need, and then sometimes it becomes clear over time how you will need those finger bones. And Jason just needs $300. Jason always needs $300. He's got a real problem. Real problem. That's it. Those are our plugs. Let's talk about mountain monsters. We're watching mountain monsters. This episode is called... Okay, the last episode was called The Great Skull Wall, and I thought that was very funny. This episode beats it. This episode is called What's a Smoke Wolf?
You tell us, dumbass.
You made it up. You tell me.
I don't think they did make it up, because when we were talking about the wolves of West Virginia, I looked up, are there wolves in West Virginia? Just because everything they say on the show sounds like bullshit. So I just Google stuff sometimes. And that's when I learned that if you see a wolf where there's not supposed to be a wolf, it's called a smoke wolf. But now, when I Googled it for this episode, all I get is mountain monster shit. So just in like that 6 or 7 weeks, the whole Google algorithm has rearranged itself to be about mountain monsters, and I think that might be our fault. Like, I feel responsible for that.
Yeah, it gets worse. I mean, the AI seizes on whatever the most popular term is and then eats itself for a long time, being like, "Oh, that's just real," and that's the reality we live in. But that's
Yeah, it was
sad,
like 10
so I don't want to
pages
talk
of
about
results were mountain monsters, and all the same links.
We're not talking about how Mountain Monsters is becoming reality and there's no way back from it. That's not what we're talking about this episode.
But the key is we have to figure out how the smoke wolf ties into the Grimm. Again, they specifically dispatched Jeff 3 episodes ago to find out what these dark wolf-like beings with red eyes are. These, they have spiritual powers. They seem to be incorporeal sometimes, other times not. There's a fire element, right? They breathe fire. Then
They
Jeff
live in
came
logs,
back
they
and
have
said,
hot pee.
Jeff came back with his laptop. He had an old-timey newspaper that he had aged to look old that said, you know, we've got spirit wolves here in West Virginia. They're called Grimms. And they said, now we know what it is. And did they remember that they had Jeff say all of that? We'll see.
We'll see.
We're watching this with you.
have
It would
full
be
confidence.
crazy if they just never said the word Grimm again for the rest of the season.
I have full confidence this is coming around. We're going to do a full underworld thing where the Grimms fight the smoke wolves.
Yes,
But like one
that's
from each
right.
side falls in love.
That's right.
We'll see. Probably
And
that. Probably that thing I said.
They were tracking from the last episode. They had the huge dick.
Yeah, that's the one. That falls in love with another one with a huge vagina, and it was meant to be. I think that joke's in Predator. Full circle. We're coming full circle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
So, previously on Mountain Monsters, the Ames team set out initially to find out if wolves had returned to West Virginia in order to honor their dead leader's memory. Then they decided, no, it's just dogs. Then they decided it's ghost dogs. Then they decided it might be one really, really big dog. Then they decided maybe we should kill that dog. That's more or less where we are now. Wait, Willie built a trap for 20 wolves that is still out there somewhere. Only that's not going to work
I forgot
anymore.
about the trap.
Yeah.
There's 20 wolves trapped
God,
in
that
that
was
they have
so long
totally
ago.
forgotten about.
They didn't even mention the trap in the last episode. I wonder if they're even going to remember it. It doesn't come up in this episode. I can tell you that. Spoiler.
It's a big wooden box made for 20 wolves. How is it going? And then we're not talking about ghost wolves? Like, it's not made for ghosts. Also, they found the entrance to a Resident Evil mansion, and they may or may not have to contact Dracula? I don't know. Who owns the bat cow? For permission to hunt werewolves on his property. That's where we're at in the show. That's pretty much
You
where
make
we're
it
at.
sound awesome, but it is not. It is fucking terrible.
It does sound awesome when you just talk
Yeah.
about it. But then it's somehow not when it's playing out. You're right. So they open...
At least this episode starts with, I want to say, 7 hours of eating poop.
We'll get to it. You're jumping.
What do you mean get
ahead.
to? It's the first thing that happens.
I do have other notes. It's fine to skip those notes, but as Jason pointed out last episode, we are in Bionic Man. We are in $6 million man territory where we have to be very concerned.
Yeah.
Is there enough here for
Is
a
there
podcast? So let's take it slow. Let's put some things in slow motion for
Sure,
effect.
okay.
While some establishing audio. So they opened by reminiscing on how Willie crawled into that log and got attacked. And Jeff has since called the number on the sign for Hillbilly Dracula to ask him permission to hunt the wolf beast. But whoever's number is on that sign, for some reason, is screening Jeff's phone calls. Doesn't want to talk to him. Can't imagine why. Probably shows up as PP Jeff on the caller ID.
It's definitely PPG.
I gotta assume. They decide, absolutely, without question, the one thing we know for sure, we tracked that wolf beast. We tracked that wolf beast, whatever it is. We don't know what it is at this point. We don't know what a smoke wolf is yet. We tracked it beyond the Resident Evil bat cow gate, where there's a huge pyramid of sticks. There's a cow skull with one of its eyes has a red stone in it, the other's missing, so obviously that's the answer to the puzzle. It's got big bat wings. They spent a fortune on it, or found it and stole it from an artist. I don't know. But they don't have permission to go there, so they're just gonna fuck around in the woods for a while. And that's almost word for word what they say. We don't have permission to go where we know the wolf beast is, so let's just go screw around in the woods.
Yeah, specifically, they're going to go back to that log. But here, Wild Bill, always the first to sense, because he's seen the episode outline on a napkin, and he's always the first one to sense, yeah, we've got nothing.
I don't think he needs to see the outline for that. The first thing they said was, we can't go there, let's go fuck around in the woods. And Wild Bill was like, that can't be the first scene of an episode.
So it's when his keen improv instincts kick in, and Buck says, well, right there's deer poop. And Wild Bill, quote, screams, did somebody say poop?
As though that's his catchphrase.
The comedy music kicks in.
Yep.
Because he's thinking in his head, I can get 3, 4, 10, 15, 37 minutes out of this
As many
bit.
as you need, brother.
We can...
Scatologist on call.
And he gets down there, and then Buck makes reference like, well, I wonder what that deer has been eating, which, by the way, all of this completely irrelevant to the hunt they're on, does not guide them toward anything. It's not going to tell them anything. They're not even pretending that this has anything to do with the smoke wolf hunt.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Buck
not just
himself
us,
is saying,
the viewers who know.
Yeah, it's Buck is saying, like, it's deer poop. What are you talking about? Why are you doing this, Bill? And so Bill is like, do you realize we don't have enough TV show for our TV show?
You started
I'm going to eat some of this feces on camera.
Because I'm a professional.
And this might be somebody's quote, but he does scream at the camera, being a professional and poop comes with its perks. And then lists 0 perks.
Eating poop. The perk is giving the fucking show something to do, because again, Buck, the leader, the guy who initiates the improv, said, well, we can't go over there, let's go fuck around in the woods. As the opening scene, the inciting incident of this episode is, let's go fuck around and hope something happens. I don't know what the response is to that. Maybe it's eating shit. I've never been faced with that.
He does eat a deer turd.
He eats a little bit of deer shit.
A little shocked by that.
But I feel like that's not the first time this has happened. I feel like we've done this bit before. Has a member... Now, I realize that if the member of this crew ate feces in a previous episode, that it is no longer canon. So this is now the first time. Right. But I do feel like somebody's done that before. Was it Trapper? Or was it Bill? Or am I wrong? Did I dream that happened?
No, it sounds right.
Stuff with poop. I don't know if we ever ate it.
Definitely tasted it or something.
Yeah, and they doing stuff
it.
with poop. I mean, there's would Jeff put some in his hat for a while, and then in his pocket with his wife's sacred cross.
Cross, of course.
And his ham.
I love, again, this. Remember, this is a reboot. Okay?
Does he still have ham pocket in the reboot?
Oh, we don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. This is the time to reinvent yourself, and Jeff has already reinvented himself as the piss man, and Wild Bill has eaten shit in the first season of the reboot. This is what they're choosing to be again.
Yeah.
Bringing all of this back.
Once they proceed on from that, Buck says, because this is during the day, like this is the afternoon, Buck says, I'll tell you what I hate about doing daytime investigations is not being able to use the thermal.
And Jeff says, I hear that.
Yeah, like, you know what, you could use, there's another band of radiation that your eyes can detect. It's just called vision. You can actually just see the creature.
You can just look, yeah.
That was one of my quotes of the episode, because that's an amazing...
So
no, it's fine.
There's
such an amazing thing to say.
That seemed like it should have worked, but fell so flat, where they get to the log, and Huckleberry, as if he's been waiting his whole life to say it, he goes... That looks like a back door to the devil's bedroom, guys. And everyone's just like, what the fuck does that mean? It is a log, dude. But they're really... Okay, so here they're really embracing their characters, and we can see it in this episode. Because Huckleberry likes to say menacing shit about the devil. And Willie goes in holes. We saw him do that last episode. Wild Bill eats poop. And Jeff is useless with a side of pee-pee. And Buck, of course, needs to get to work. And so these themes have like really been explored a lot, I think, since they rebooted. And
Yes.
then, they're really established now.
They've drilled down to, they've abandoned all other pretense. For example, I don't know that they've said the word Bigfoot once in this entire reboot.
That is something I had in my notes. They seem to really not. I know Bigfoot stuff is coming because it was in the sizzle reel for the first episode, because they're trying to promise to people who are only here for Bigfoot. And by the way, there's a certain segment of their audience that is only here for Bigfoot stuff. They actually don't like. That's why in the previous seasons they kept saying, "Oh, also we think Bigfoot is also here."
But let's not worry about that. He's off screen making a jerk off motion with his hand for every moment we don't talk about it.
But they seem very reluctant to do the Bigfoot stuff. But also, in previous iterations of the show, they were very big on doing accidental sexual innuendo to the point that we had to ban ourselves from mentioning it on the podcast. But the phrase, "that looks like the back door to the devil's bedroom."
Hold on. Maybe we're rebooted too. Maybe the homosexual innuendo jar, maybe that's empty now.
Okay.
Maybe it's back on the menu, boys.
Okay.
Also, he said this in reference to a log on the ground in the woods. I mean, Sean, if you were on a hike with some dudes and a guy looked at a log in the ground, he said, "Hey, Sean, that looks like the back door of the devil's bedroom." What would your response to that?
I'd say no. I already had sex today. I'm good, buddy.
I would have already been fucking him. He would not have finished that sentence.
I'd say I know what you're getting at, because bedrooms don't normally have two doors, so you're clearly not talking about a bedroom.
Okay, let's spend the rest of the show examining this. The back door to the devil's bedroom, so that it doesn't look like the devil's bedroom, and it doesn't look like the door to the devil's bedroom. It looks like, what's the back door to your bedroom? That's actually an incredible phrase, because again, when Huckleberry, one, he has two goals: one, to have the badass line for the sizzle reel, but two, he starts the sentence with no indication in his mind of how it's going to end. Like, you can see him, like, he doesn't have the whole sentence in there. He just starts, and then whatever happens, happens. And this is magic. We could do our own sizzle reel of just his attempts to do these trailer lines and how few of them make any sense at all.
So Buck has an idea now that they've seen the back door to the devil's bedroom. Mm-hmm. No, it's not fucking Huckleberry. Buck has an idea, and that's for Willie to go in the tree again.
But he wants to go on the other end.
And see, don't you're making it look like he just was willing to sacrifice Willie.
No, I just laughed because I thought that was very funny. It's for Willie to go in the tree again, and Buck will go in the other end. That way, if the monster's in there, which we've established it's not, they know it's on that guy's property past the bat wall. But if they're wrong and it's in here, they'll have it trapped between them.
Exactly.
Right?
So one of them must die. Also, I want to point out, Buck has lost a lot of weight since the lap band surgery, but I don't know if he's lost go into a log weight.
Yeah,
he makes it all the way through the log. Now, they do a thing where they go ahead and they play a sound clip of a twig snap, because they told the audio person, well, we want the sound of a smoke wolf inside a log. And we hear that, so they react to, hey, listen, I think it's in there. But they just play a sound of a twig snapping. It's like it's in there snapping twigs. All right, so this is their idea. They're going to do a log pincer. Willie's going to crawl in one end of the tube. Buck's going to crawl in the other, both totally unarmed, both without GoPro cameras or anything, saying, quote, if that's in there, we're going to get it. Mm-hmm. Now, I know I said I did this whole bit in the last episode, but I'm going to ask again. What in universe, we're not going to mock the realism of it. In universe, what does success look like? Because let's say the creature, the wolf, is facing Buck. So Buck encounters the head of this creature, and then Willie's coming up behind. He's now on the creature, is coming up to the creature's butthole. What does get it look like? How do they get from there to the success, the success scenario? What does that look like in your mind?
Well, if he starts attacking one of them, right? Like somebody's got the face end and they're getting a bunch of wolf teeth. That's too bad. But somebody else, that means somebody else has the back door to the devil's bedroom. Like they can just start tearing into wolf asshole. And like
that's the weak spot of a ghost wolf.
Yeah, it's a flashing red weak spot on a ghost wolf that will do.
It's the only way to get to
critical
the
hits.
Like it's one of those weaknesses. Yeah, bite them on the butthole. It's like, how is that ever going to come up? But they found a way. In a lot of ways, it's genius.
Because they again do that thing where they cut to everybody else who's outside the hunt, saying, "Yeah." Huckleberry says, "Well, if that wolf is in there, there's going to be blood squirting everywhere." And then they cut to, I think, Jeff saying, "This could get ugly real quick." And it's like, yeah, I agree. In universe, I'm going to grant you that the wolf is in that log, that it's a log, that logs are where wolves live. Fine. I'll give it to you. I don't care. This is Mountain Monsters. I'm saying, give me something I can picture in my mind for your fiction. Again, I'm not criticizing whether or not it would be legal to hunt a wolf this way. I'm saying, are you picturing Buck grabbing his front paws and Willie grabbing his hind legs, and they're just going to rip it in half? Like they're going to just...
I think Wild Bill explains it best when he says, "Damn, Buck's radical as hell."
Like he's like the little brother in a talking skateboard movie.
Yep.
He's just like...
That's the point of this scene, is so Buck realized Willie did something cool last episode, but this is the Buck show. And so now he's like, I have to be in on that. Yep. And then he went over and he told Wild Bill. So maybe once I crawl into the tree, you could say something like, "Damn, Buck's radical as hell." Yeah. You can make it sound more natural than that.
No, I got it. Since we've rebooted the homosexual innuendo jar, maybe I'll start a new one, because there's a weird moment here where Buck goes to Willie and he makes his voice real bedroomy, and he says, "How about you slip in that end and let me slip in this end?" And I'm just like, why'd you put it like that? Oh, goddamn! I'm sorry.
I've got it down there. It's the only one. I normally have multiple options, and I know that I need to grow up. I realize this is now 66 episodes of the show. I think the way he says, "How about you slip in that end and let me slip in this end?" And
there's no other way to take it.
Not the first time we said that to Willie.
There's a lot of talk of nuts here. Bill says, "You hear that? That's them brass gonads of yours hitting together. You got to have brass balls to go in that log." He just like tried it again after he heard. He's like, "No, I don't like it. I'm trying it again." I think it's from Glengarry Glen Ross, the second one.
He had said the first one, and the only part they cut was him turning to the cameraman and being like, "Can I take that again?"
Yes.
We're keeping both of them in there. So as Buck shimmies up under the log, Jeff leans down and says, "Oh, he's really getting up in there." And then we hear bleep, which I think even in the reboot, let's establish that still means come.
That means come.
Oh, he's really getting up in there. Come.
So what happens here? Buck lays down and he starts smelling the log, and he smells pee, because we know Buck's thing is he's got to get back to work, but his other thing is stealing whatever Jeff's thing is. So here he is stealing Jeff's thing again. They're exactly the same in the reboot. You're right. You're yourself no matter where you go.
But that's how wolves live. They stuff themselves inside of a pipe, and they just soak themselves in their own piss.
Hot piss.
While men stand outside and just talk about fucking each other.
So he and Willie are crawling in the log from opposite directions, and they start calling in after them. They start calling in after Buck. They get no answer from Buck. They start calling in after Willie. No answer from Willie. And then they start calling to each other across the length of the log. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they radio to
They
each other.
radio to each other, you're
across each end of the log, as if the log is a mile apart instead of just being log sized.
They do this every goddamn episode where nobody can hear each other, even though they're very, very close.
in the
It's very
silent
frustrating.
woods,
In the
where
silent
sounds,
woods,
where sounds carry.
where everyone has a radio and an iPhone.
But it's not just it's. I just want to reiterate how long this sequence is. It's so long that they repeat
so
over
long.
and over again. I can't hear him. Can you guys hear anything from him? Buck, no, nothing. We're getting nothing back. Can you hear anything from Willie? They nurse this moment for everything it's worth. And you know they're just going to crawl out and be like, oh, I guess I didn't hear you. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
No, stop. There's no way that can happen, because that's what happened in the last episode when Willie went in alone. That he like, oh my gosh, what is it? What's happening? Oh, it must have ran away. Why would they do that whole scene again with the exact same beats, only to have the exact same result where they act like they've been eaten and then they pop out like, no,
Because it's a different log. Wait, I'm wrong. It's the same log.
The same log.
It's the same log. Also, I have to mention that at one point, Wild Bill gets so panicked at their non-response that he jumps up on the log and starts bashing it with the butt of his shotgun, saying, "Answer me, Willie, Buck, answer me!" Just slamming at the butt of his shotgun down as they teach you to do. And Huckleberry saying something meaner than Sean has ever said: "If these guys got eaten by the wolf, we could be picking up pieces for months."
That is pretty mean.
That wolf is never going to fully shit those boys out. I don't care how big it is.
The friends could be dead in there. Like, well, if that thing's trying to eat Buck, they're going to have to bring a dump truck out of here to get all of that carcass out of there. Like, Jesus Christ.
You know what? I think Buck deserves it, because once Buck gets out of there, he says what might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard a human say. And that's on this show, which is full of the stupidest things I've ever heard a human say. Buck looks straight into camera and he says, you know, I'm glad to be out of that log. But if you think about it for a second, if that creature's not in there, where's it at? It could be out here watching us right now.
They saw a log and decided the wolf lives in that log. But if he doesn't live in that log, he could live anywhere other than that log.
We've ruled out that log.
He's soaking wet because while he did fit into the log, it's tight. And then he points out, he's like, no, this is all urine. This is all wolf urine. Like, that's how much urine was in there, that it was just, I crawled through it. I am just covered in this animal's piss.
And, like, it's not little splotches. He's soaking wet from, like, tits down. Just, why would you volunteer to be like, and remember, rest of this episode, covered in wolf piss the whole
Covered in
time.
piss.
But now that they've repeated, they made the storytelling mistake of repeating a story beat exactly from the previous episode. Mm-hmm. We'll give them that, but now they've got to move on and do something totally different. Like because after all, this was the only thing that happened in the previous episode. What would they can't repeat another story beat from it because nothing else occurred.
They must be filming this in real time, because they reiterate that they still, after fucking around the woods, they still don't actually have permission to go to the Resident Evil mansion. So whoever it is, whoever they're casting for the property owner that they have to get a hold of, is just late to set. And they're stuck here going like, I don't know how to pause the record function on this camera. You just got to keep going. So they have to keep fucking around in the woods. And Wild Bill, luckily, knowing with his keen improv instincts, we've got to fill this time somehow. He's got an idea. What if? Hold on. What if? Do you guys remember the predator call from the last time?
Yeah.
What if they did that again?
I can't not.
The one other thing that happened in the last episode, let's also do that again.
And we all agree it's the worst episode they ever did. and they're doing it a second time.
But it's different now. This time,
Somebody did eat some poop.
it's Buck covered in piss.
Oh yeah, you're right.
This time
that's a different thing.
they're gonna pile into the golf cart and go screaming around the woods while playing from a handheld speaker the call the animal calls. It's the sound of the rabbits being torn apart.
The worst noise you've ever heard in your life.
And Wild Bill says, "Let's do this Teen Wolf style," which I loved. But this is not Teen Wolf style. Teen Wolf style is doing a handstand on top of the truck.
Yeah, yeah, and this is definitely not poacher behavior, driving, just screaming your golf cart through the woods while pointing shotguns in an AR-15 in every direction while you blast a predator call.
Yeah.
Is this poacher behavior? Because I would say this is crazier than poacher behavior. Because 5 dudes all pile into one Forest golf cart. And it's got spotlights in every direction. And there's a guy standing in the back holding like an old-timey bullhorn just out there. And it's playing things being murdered. It's playing just the noises of things being murdered.
We're killing your children. We're killing your children.
Imagine.
That's what he's telling the woods.
And I want to reiterate, this is all happening literally right on somebody's property line. This is them fucking around while they get permission to cross that property line. So this guy is looking out his window on that house up on the hill and watching them just peel ass in a golf cart out here, blaring murder noises. And then he's going to get the 5th call that day of Jeff leaving a message on his machine going, "Can we come play in your yard?"
This is ISIS shit, is what this is.
Yeah, this is... I would have a bunker. If this happened to me once, I would have a bunker in case it ever happened again. Suddenly they have to slam on the brakes and they scramble to shut the tape off because, again, it was working. Time to shut that tape off. It was drawing the monster to you. Can't have that. Even though they have their guns this time. Jeff catches something running in the woods. It's out there on all 4s. They all get their guns out.
That's bipedal times 2.
Oh, dual bipedal, I think they call it.
Why add that? Like, running around on all 4s is like, yeah. Well, you're not hunting a kangaroo. What?
This is emu territory.
What the fuck, Jeff? I don't know. A small detail among all of the madness, but it was one where I was like, I don't know, that you sound like a goddamn idiot.
So they go running off into the woods after it, even though it was just coming towards them using the method that they have proved 100% efficient so far. That animal will always come directly towards that. And they start following it, and then they pull up short again. They have found another massive burn spot. It's Huckleberry's dragon. Huckleberry's going to get to fight a dragon.
This is a lightning strike, right?
Yeah. It's crazy that these 5 men who seemingly know what the woods are have never seen a tree get struck by lightning.
Because they're going to stretch this out as long as possible, saying, "Well, what could do this? Look at the char. Look at how the stump is charred all the way down. What could do this?" And like, I think it could have been a burn, somebody trying to burn that stump out, but it looked to me like a lightning strike. It looks like a tree got exploded by lightning.
Well, they do say that the temperature it takes to burn wood like this is over 3,000 degrees.
So, okay. I just don't think you're allowed to pretend you know that if you don't know what a lightning strike is. Like, if you've never heard of lightning, you know, and be like, oh, I know the burning temperature of different wetnesses of woods.
This is the kind of heat that would have melted the steel beams in the World Trade Center had that not been a hoax.
I mean, everybody knows
Mothman.
That steel melts at 2,300 degrees because of 9/11 conspiracies.
Because we know in this universe, Mothman did 9/11. I wonder if that's still canon.
I hope so.
Unfortunately, it can't be. We've got to drop it. We've got to drop all of it. There is no psychic Sasquatch. You don't erotically shower for him. We've lost so much. We've lost, I don't know, 12 rogue teams? They're all gone.
So many. And all those pterodactyls?
I mean, honestly, if I'm being real, I think the whole point of the reboot was just to clear out the buffer of rogue teams. Because they got
Yeah.
so many. They have no fucking idea which ones are still which.
And I do want to point out what a great finale for the rogue teams it was. For the final act was for one of them to show up and leave the calling card of the other one, because even the rogue teams forgot which rogue team they were. Rogue team 1 came up and said, "Do you want us to do more of the thing?" And they were referencing the thing that rogue team 4 was doing, which was making them watch that film in the woods, because even the rogue teams could not keep themselves straight.
That's the moment they knew, like, we got to reboot this shit.
Yeah,
we got to
this
just
is
wipe
not-
it clean. No rogue teams. Listen, we can have everything back. Jeff, piss yourself all you want, buddy. Wild Bill, eat that poop. I'm going to go back to work. We can all have the
Huckleberry-
things that are important.
Huckleberry's still a coxman.
Yeah, he's still dicking down everything in the woods, including inanimate logs, maybe. We're just going to clear the buffer of the rogue team, so let's not do that again. Obviously, it gets out of hand. So, okay, they're out in the woods. They found
Remember,
Dragon
Jeff
Strike.
used to do a full Departed, and here we are just looking in the same log for 2 days.
We're looking at a lightning strike now. That's something.
Oh yeah, okay,
That's like,
sure. We see
Now,
some
are
other
they
stuff.
repeating word for word the stuff they said the last time they found a burn patch, where they were
Pretty much.
marveling at how hot it got and how it had to have been a dragon of some kind? Yes, sure. But again, what matters is that minutes have passed. They're trying to grind away the minutes to get enough minutes for a TV show. Now, are they going to achieve that? Absolutely not.
I would love it if they just found another dog here. If they just found another dog and we're like, a dog with like a welding torch in his mouth, and they're like, "Oh, see that
Same one.
explains it."
No, same dog.
Dog is burning
If they
down
found
trees,
that, it's
yeah.
like, oh, it's that dog again. That dog got loose again.
It burned all of this stuff somehow. So they hear a chain sound now again in the woods. They've heard the Jacob Marley chain sound. That's what they're out here doing. So they follow the chain and they stop because it sounds like it's coming from straight up in the air. Combined with what we've just seen, dragon.
Dragon.
There's a dragon.
A chain
Can't
dragon.
be anything else. Buck says, "What in the world is that?" It's dragon. Huckleberry's getting to fight a dragon.
Jeff says a troll might live in the tree. And I think he means that as a way to describe a tree, but like, I don't know, they might be on a troll hunt. That doesn't, it's not any sillier than the 7 ghost dogs they're fucking hunting.
So they're going to try to do improvisation about this tree being the freakiest looking tree they've ever seen, because they've decided that the chain sound is coming from up on top of that tree. It's like, wow, it's like, Jacobs Marley's ghost is caught up there in that tree. And then Buck says, that is an evil looking tree. And here's the thing, listeners, I want you to imagine in your mind an evil looking tree. Probably picturing something black and twisted or whatever. It's straight up just a normal tree. It's the normalest. It's a little bit dead, I think, because it has been, we're going to mention in a moment, it's been hollowed out. But Wild Bill looks up and says, "This tree looks like something out of Lord of the Rings. Is Frodo up there? Where's Gandalf?" And I just wish he had just kept going deeper and deeper into like stuff from the Silmarillion. Like that looks like the lair of the necromancer Dol Guldur. Not even Al Farazone and all of the armies of Numenor could have subdued him. Not once he summoned the powers of Melkor.
He just starts singing the songs.
Yeah, he just knows all of that stuff by heart.
He did go a little, in the
appendices.
actual quote, he did go a little farther. He said, "Where's the guy with the blonde hair and the pointed ears?" But like,
Yeah. Like
Hold
he
on,
doesn't
you-
know his name.
right, Frodo and Gandalf,
Yeah.
Legolas, so why pull back? Why pull back and be like, I don't know that guy's name. Is it gay to know Legolas's name? Kind of.
I don't know.
A little bit. He's
Well,
right.
now his
no,
name
he's
in
right.
Elvish was.
He's been talking about everybody's nuts the whole episode. I don't think he's scared of looking gay.
So they decide
I think it's nerd shit. I think he's like, nah, I'm not. I don't know what that guy.
Legolas is too nerdy. Gandalf's fucking cool. Gandalf's
he's
painted
cool.
on the side
He's
of
got
a van somewhere.
fireworks.
I can know who Gandalf is and be a cool guy. So they decide they need to climb this tree. I say they. Buck decides they need to climb this tree. And what he says is, Willie and Wild Bill are going to go get their climbing gear and climb that tree. Me, Huckleberry, and Jeff are going to stand right here.
Yep.
And they're going to say the phrase, we need to make sure that whatever lives up in that tree doesn't come down. Meaning they're going to go up and murder the ghost, the tree climbing ghost dog that's bound in the chains of its
Could be a
greed
dragon.
because of all of the sins that it committed on Earth. Like what is there again in the fiction of the show? I once again I can't make it clear enough. I'm not holding them to the standards of the real world. I'm saying in the fiction of their show, what does success look like? Because to be clear, they have a trap, they have a call that draws the creature 100% of the time. I don't know why they're not just back at the trap playing the sound of the rabbits being killed from within the trap. Let the thing go in the trap. Whatever. Fine. Whatever. They've got a reason. But when they climb this tree, have Wild Bill get his climbing gear. By the way, Wild Bill in this episode, they keep claiming he never uses any technology. It is canon in the show that he is a line worker for a power company. That's what they said earlier seasons ago. I guess that's not canon anymore. I don't know. But what are they trying to do in the fiction of the show? What are they trying? What does success look like here? They going to knock it out of the tree? Hope that it falls to its death?
They're going to go kill the ghost dog that, remember, is a protector of the dead in the cemeteries. So it needs to die. They need to shoot that thing to death.
They don't take their guns up there, so they're going to do that thing in RRR where he gets on his back and they do a kick. They're going to kick it out of the...
Yeah, absolutely. I assumed
They're
that
gonna do an
100%. They're going to stack on top of each other like an RRR. One of them will be the legs and one of them will be the arms.
They're going to capture a whole bunch of these dogs and then put them in a big cart and then smash through the fortress and unleash all the animals on their enemies.
On the colonialists, of course, which is them. Going to do that to their house. So Willie and Wild Bill are climbing the tree, and the chain noise stops. They do find what looks like a nest of twigs. And Willie really... I'm not going to do all of it, but Willie really sells how amazing the discovery he made in this nest is. It's a lot of, you're not going to believe this. Boy, those guys down there are not going to understand what I found up here. Wow, the lads in downtown are not going to understand the uptown guy, what the uptown guy's got. Like 20 minutes. Because
they throw in an ad break in the middle of it. Like they
Yep.
really draw this out. 'Cause like this is the freakiest discovery yet.
And after milking it for 20 minutes, he finally pulls out a speaker. And it's the funniest possible thing. Because what other explanation for this? In the moment, what you have to think, oh my God, is it another rogue team? Did they bring a rogue team back? Because somebody's fucking with them.
Yeah. Here's what frustrates. Like, that was obviously way too long to reveal the speaker. But then there's a wire, of course. It's a speaker. It takes them probably 15 minutes to think, we should fucking follow the wire. And
They know.
it
how
occurs to
little
them
they
like,
got.
my God, I've just got this idea. Like a light bulb appears over their heads.
They, a few minutes earlier, thought this was the sound of a ghost of a giant ghost dog with red eyes rattling the chains of its sins. Like they thought this was a supernatural creature. They have well established that this is some sort of a... So when they found the speaker, the reaction should be... Okay, somebody's screwing with us. What?
Right.
We have to find out who the old man, whatever, trying to scare people off the property. Like, like there should have been like it should have been like a deflating thing. Like it's okay to play it like that because it's like, okay, there's another mystery. Somebody wanted us to think there's a ghost dog here. Why? Instead, Buck says, this has to be the strangest thing I've encountered out in the woods. Period. Referring to that speaker. And again, even if none of the big feet are canon, Buck once encountered a shed that had been wallpapered in photos of his life's failures.
Not canon. Not canon. Never happened.
That you're right. That is one of the strangest things you could find.
It didn't, yeah, where somebody had photoshopped in a little girl pointing at him accusingly in every shot. That would be the weirdest thing. But you're right. It didn't happen.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Can't.
But this has, if you put a speaker in a
now.
tree just playing some chain sounds, be like, oh man, if a hiker comes by, they're going to think it's a ghost and they're going to get scared. To have like 5 grown men like crawling into a log and freaking out over the course of 2 full days, it's got to be just the best case scenario for just this random woods prankster. Like, it's better than you could have ever hoped.
So they see the wire. They see the wire leading down, and Willie explains, like, oh, they tried to hide the wire. They've stapled it to this grapevine. And Buck looks up at him and goes, stapled?
And they're gonna follow the wire down and find that there's a little cabinet built into the tree, which is weird that they didn't notice that earlier. There's like just hinges and a little latch in the trunk of the tree. And they do this thing where Willie unlatches it and opens it. And the cameraman, doing expert cameraman work, avoids showing what's inside.
It's
like,
really
backs
good.
up. They go to an ad break.
Another
while
one.
Willie's like, my God. And like, oh no, it's the thing that powers the speaker.
Yeah,
It's
the CB radio.
This is two ad breaks in this sequence in which they've found a speaker and then followed the wire to the source of the speaker. 2 ad breaks
radio.
they got out of this.
There's a moment here that's, again, it is one of the things that frustrates me is I don't know how stupid they're supposed to be or how me as the viewer is supposed to be, where they find a hinge on the tree and Buck's like, a hinge? A hinge for what? You're like, for a fucking door, you baby.
Probably the thing that connects to that speaker that you're trying to find the other end of the wire. Like what else would be in there? If there was like just a live human head with the wire coming out of his mouth, that would be pretty freaky. But if it's just a device that broadcasts sounds, like, no, that's exactly what you would expect.
24 ice cold beers, and then it's time to party. Right? Budweiser commercial. So Buck picks up the handset and says hello into it. And after a while, he gets a response and he goes, who is this? It's just, I don't know. Like, I know you don't have a lot to go on at this point, but just asking, yeah, who is this? You got speakers out here? You doing a whole chain thing?
Yeah, is this a
the radio
Scooby-Doo thing?
asks.
Are we cock
asks,
blocking your Scooby-Doo schemes?
or are we perfectly playing into it to an extent beyond you could have ever dreamed? That we're literally doing the we were both stuck in one end of a log because we're so scared thing. So the radio asks, are you the ones looking for me? This is the Resident Evil guy, and yes, he was screening Jeff's calls.
Yep.
He was aware. He just wasn't picking up the phone.
So awesome.
He's the guy that owns the Resident Evil mansion only communicates by tree phone. Buck, he asks what they want, and Buck rather insanely says in a very matter-of-fact way, big black dog with red eyes?
It does take him a while to get it out, but then what you're looking for is pretty easy to describe.
Like he has to like think about it for a second. He's like, I guess this is what I want. You asked me for a wish, big black dog, red eyes. And the voice comes back with, you mean a smoke wolf? Yeah, they all act totally flabbergasted, and then they say the line, what in the hell is a smoke wolf?
And again, this is a thing that already exists, and also it shows they haven't Googled it. It's frustrating.
So he asks them, the voice on the other side asks Buck, do you know where my bat cow altar is? And they're like, oh yeah, we went to the bat cow altar. And he's like, well, meet me there at 5 then. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like an appointment kind of place.
Yeah.
Right? So they have their mission. They need to head out. They need to get their hair did for the big date. They need to kill time until 5. Like I guess they couldn't say like, but you live on this property, right? Like this is your house. Can you just come out?
I mean, you're up talking to us. Can we just do it now?
Do you want to just, I don't
We're
know,
all
fool
here.
around, make some mistakes? We're young. Let's do it. So the next day, Wild Bill comments on how weird it is that the landowner doesn't want to meet them at night. What? Wait, what? Is it a hillbilly Dracula for real? Like, are you Because that only makes sense if you are establishing he's a hillbilly Dracula. It's weird that he wants to meet us during the day. No, it'd be weird if he wanted to meet you at night. And Huckleberry says, well, when it comes to this landowner, I don't know what to expect. And when he says that, he says it in front of the new green screen background at Mountain Monster Studios.
Yep.
You're catching it, right?
Getting
Somebody else
fancy.
is catching it. Because they're going to use it like
They're doing
50
green screen.
times
They're
in the
doing
last
pickup
episode.
shots. The closer this gets to a real show, the worse it gets.
To what end?
To what end?
You think this is something they recorded later when they realized they didn't have enough show? But if so, there's so much other stuff they could have added.
Agreed.
It feels like.
Yeah.
When they start doing the slow motion in Mountain Monsters, we're going to know that they've reached that point. They doing the slow mo of them walking through the woods.
You're going to get the $6 million man sound when Huckleberry tears his ACL. Shut up. No, but they're using the green screen more and more as the episode goes on. They use it a lot in this one. It was only one or two, and it's always the same scene. They don't even get a different scene. It's always like the same patch of woods, the same like leaf moving. It's crazy. I don't know why. They have the woods. Like you could just go out in the woods.
They don't give a
have
shit
the
about
woods.
lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's professionally lit. It's in like an indoor studio where I don't know. It's just really crazy to me.
I just hope that later in the season they are going like, well, guys, we've had to go to Paris to research, and they got the Eiffel Tower in the background by the green screen. Like, yeah, we had to go to the Bigfoot library and at the Vatican.
Oh no! Now
Their
we gotta run from a
Bigfoot.
big boulder. Oh
No! Guys, we've found ourselves in outer space.
Oh no! It's Jaws. Ah!
But let's give credit because they're going to meet the landowner Dave, and they've done some prime witness costume work, and it's been a while, right?
They
Or
are
they've
proud
done
of
real
themselves.
like.
I wrote down every element of this guy's outfit, and then I realized what a fool I was because he's just Rob Zombie.
Yeah. I wrote down that he looks like Cake Boss started a white supremacist ZZ Top cover band.
Which again is Rob Zombie.
Yeah. I'm just describing Rob Zombie.
Yep, that's just Rob Zombie.
This guy,
to a perfect
they
T.
think this guy looks the coolest guy they've ever seen. They're doing like up and down shots of him. They're like cutting to different camera. It's fucking. It's like they're doing a fashion show of Rob Zombie.
They're so proud of the costume work they did on this. Somebody says he looks like a redneck Crocodile Dundee.
He's got the ZZ Top beard, the Ray-Bans. He's got the weird little wicker cowboy hat that says, "Yeah, I eat pussy, and I'm real bad at it."
I think. Well, I might be. We'll never know.
Got the camo jacket, but it's like buttoned at the navel, so it's all open at the top. He's smoking a cigarette, real cool. Like,
And
he's
he
like,
gets so much less cool with every line he says. Because at first you're like, okay, they met a cool guy. And it's like, no, this is the fucking nerdiest dude who lives in these woods.
Well, they're going to show up, and he's going to do the thing because he's going to point out what's all the cameras and bleep. What's all the cameras and come here, and take a drink. Because once again, we get the thing where Buck in universe has to explain what his job is and is too embarrassed to say.
Too embarrassed.
It says the phrase, I have it word for word, these guys follow us around whenever we're out investigating things.
We don't know who they are.
Talking like they're paparazzi. Like, yeah, they find out we're here. They're like, they swarm around us like leeches trying to get a piece of us. They're just always filming what we do. They just think we're so cool. It's like, okay, you have to disclose to this guy that you're filming this for a TV show. You can't secretly put it on TV. He's got to like sign forms and stuff.
Like, what are all these cameras and stuff? I don't know, man. I'm just as scared as you.
They've been filming him for a while because they've been panning up and down his body from like 2 different cameras. So
Why are
he's
they
not
panning
meeting
up
them for
and
the
down
first
so
time.
sensually?
Like they've been spending the afternoon together to get these glamour shots.
Yeah, there's a guy
Stop. I just had a thought that just gave me a migraine. What if in the reboot, the show Mountain Monsters doesn't exist?
Oh, shit. Now we gotta
because
reckon with
they've
that.
never acknowledged that they're shooting this for a TV show. That was all pre-reboot, and this whole thing was
Yep,
we're
you're right.
just documenting us going to go see if there are wolves in West Virginia, and then they were surprised that there was a monster hunt to be done, as if that was a
Exactly.
completely new thing, meaning they would not have a show called Mountain Monsters.
Yep.
You're right,
They
it
don't have a TV
changed-
deal. This is the footage they haven't sold yet.
Yeah. Because they started out being like, okay, we are not acknowledging the cameras. That was like they didn't even it wasn't even an office situation where that's built into the premise. They were like, this is all real, but like the cameramen aren't here, basically. Then they moved on to like, yes, they're filming us, but it's for something that hasn't been out yet. Like nobody knows what the show Mountain Monsters is. Like this might be for a documentary or whatever. It was only like it took them like 4 seasons to get to the point where they were like, okay, yes, it's a show. We're on a show. People know about it. It took them a long time to get there. So Jason's right.
And
You
before
can't assume
then, like
that's
they would
the case.
often like leave cameramen to die. Like they would like
Right.
run away, and then there'd be a shot of them leaving. It's like, whoa, okay, but like you're running from pterodactyls, and that the fact that you have you get it.
They would have shots when the monsters are attacking. They would have shots of their fleeing vehicle going off into the horizon, leaving the camera stationary behind them. They would have Bigfoot POV shots where
Yep.
Bigfoot is watching them from the bushes. Yeah. And then it was very later they started incorporating the crew into it. But I guess in the reboot, this guy named Colt Straub is just a groupie who just follows them around. Like, can I film you guys? You're so cool.
You're
Yeah, we
looking
don't
for
know where
dogs?
that came from. Honestly, I'm too scared to ask what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know either. So a hillbilly Dracula starts explaining his shrine. They're standing in front of him. They ask him what the deal is with the wall, which is it's not a wall, whatever. He starts explaining the shrine, and with a tremor in his voice, like it hurts to remember, he says, "This wall, it didn't always start like this. This wall was started in 1927, the year my dad was born. Like it was originally a commemorative birth wall."
Okay, but hold on. 1927, this episode was from 2021. So his dad's 94 at the time of this telling. How old is this guy's? Not like elderly. So his dad, I guess he could have had him late in life.
Yeah, he's like
This
40.
guy
He's
could
like
be 50.
it was like a Huckleberry scenario. Like he's just fucking late in life. You know, some guys are like that. You had
But he
a
says-
kid at 54.
That this massive sprawling Resident Evil sculpture that his family just kept adding to it because it's a keep out sign. It's to keep people away. Now, I'm again going to ask Sean or both of you. You've both been camping. I keep referring to Sean as the resident camper of the group, but either of you, if you're out camping with some dudes, you've got your beer, you're looking for a spot to set up your tents, and you run across this sculpture, would that signal to you, get away from this, it's too scary? Or would you camp right at this thing,
Right
like
at it.
right at the foot
Yeah.
of this thing?
Absolutely.
Like, yes.
I think I would assume it's Burning Man dorks. You'd be like, dude, if we get Burning Man
Oh,
dorks,
yeah.
that's going to fuck up the whole trip.
No, I'd camp right on it. I'd fill it with bongs and beer. We'd
Yeah.
all take pictures with the god of beer. We'd have an in joke for the next 20 years about how we're out partying with the bat cow.
Yeah.
And look, it's got a spinel in its eye. We can sell that to arms. The arms.
I would 100%
dealer.
take the sacred eye from it.
Yeah. Or I would finally add my sacred eye to it.
Yeah, no, I'd try it both ways. If we couldn't figure out where the other eye was, then we would go home with the sacred eye and take the curse with us, the bat cow curse.
I would be like,
'Cause-
man, I've had this eye all my life. I didn't know where it goes. And then I'd put it in Bat Cow's eye. He'd open up his belly, 24 ice cold beers.
And then back there was like a giant mutated creature strapped to like a table, but it was clearly dead. It clearly wasn't moving. It's clearly of no harm to us. It had like blades coming out of its arms, and it'll be fine. Like we can just walk right past it. It's clearly, and so clearly once we put this second gym up there, that thing's not going to spring to life and attack us.
You give
There's
it
a
a test
moment
slash.
here where this guy's trying to talk about the dark purpose of the wall. And then he's like he finally says, "You guys don't know what you're messing with." And you're like, "Oh, wow, there's going to be a whole new reveal." But then he says, "Yeah, the thing is yay tall. It's black. It's got red eyes." We're like, we know exactly what we're messing with, dickhead. Like, that's the dog that Jeff looked up on his fake newspaper.
So the smoke wolf is the Grim, or you know what? We have to reinvent the concept of "fuck you, Jeff."
I'm telling you right now, no one is going to say the word grim. No one is going to mention graveyards. No one is going to talk about that legend. At no point are they going to let Jeff mention, "Hey, I've looked into this." No, they decided that explanation wrong. The one thing they had Jeff research, nope, that was totally incorrect. Because what this guy says, and here's where the thing we talked about before, about how the script writer was writing checks that the show couldn't cash. Because he says, I own 1,200 acres, but there's about 600 of them that are off limits. This is what he called it. Back here, we call it no man's land. So they built this skull wall to keep people out of this 600 acre. Like it's like most of a square mile, isn't it?
It's a lot.
The 600 acre plot of land, and it's like there's no fence. And remember, they didn't follow the road to the thing and then run into the skull wall. They only found it because they got lost and stumbled across it. So on the page, it was supposed to be, no, this 600 acres is protected by a wall of skulls all the way around it. And then we have to ask this guy to let us in. But they couldn't afford that. So it's just this Burning Man sculpture in the middle of the woods. It's like, 10 feet, 15 feet wide or whatever. And it's like, well, if you don't happen to run into that, then you're just going to stumble into no man's land and get eaten by the smoke wolves, I guess. Because there's no other signage telling you to get to stay out.
You're absolutely right. The script at that point said, camera pulls back to drone POV, revealing the extent of this 600 square acre wall that lines every inch of this property, covered in skulls. And then the production crew was like, I got one skull.
They would only have to build 4 miles of wall to make that work. So
it's so funny that they just still.
They got it 7 feet.
If you just called it an altar, and if you had just said, "Yeah, we placed altars just like this all along," the boundaries of this territory.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to show it; just say it. But then they keep calling it a wall, and they're like, "We got to figure out a way to get past this wall. Go around it."
And they've even done that before. They've run into one little altar and then claimed, "Oh, it's another one." And it's like, this clearly the same one. Yeah, you can do that. You can say, we keep running into these. It's like they don't want us to go past this spot. But the guy starts talking about. So he says, these things in there, they kill everything. And they don't do it for food. They do it for fun. But again, so now we are officially completely off of Jeff's whole smoke wolf thing. And in fact, like, they don't bring that up. And then Buck doesn't bring up, like, well, are they non-corporeal? Because I drove my car through one and it was a vapor. It didn't leave prints. We looked around. There were no prints. So that also was just gone. And then you get Wild Bill saying, it sounds like these smoke wolves make a werewolf look like a little chihuahua. Because remember, in the world of mountain monsters, a werewolf is just a large wolf. They had the werewolf of whatever county, and the whole time, not for 1 second did they suggest that it was a wolf that turns into a man. It's like, no, it's a werewolf. They're huge. So these guys have never heard of the concept of a werewolf. They think a werewolf is just a very fat wolf.
That's what were means. It's from the original Germanic.
Spanish for big.
Like, Buck used to be were, and now he's a little less were.
They have footage of it right behind Buck, and it didn't kill him.
Didn't kill him. It wasn't fun. He wasn't enough of a challenge. It wasn't going to be fun.
The only victim is that pig, where it ate its fur and its bones and its hooves and left everything else. That's the only thing they've got. That's the only crime this thing has committed, which I guess, again, that is the most fun way to eat a pig.
Yeah. Just eat the bones. That's how I like to
Suck
do
its
it.
bones.
Every barbecue. You guys aren't going to eat your bones?
There's a moment here where this guy goes, it howled like a wolf and it screamed like a demon. And it cuts to Huckleberry, who's like just really pissed off about it because that's a Huckleberry line. That's like, I think he took that from the script. Then Huckleberry's like, I was going to fucking say that after the commercial. Son of a bitch.
But that's all he has. Like, he tells the story, we've been here for 3 generations at least. Mm-hmm. And like, each generation adds a token to the wall because it's so important to us to like keep strangers from being torn apart. And I know that these things they kill for fun. And you're like, so now it's time to tell his history, his personal history. Like, they tore apart my granddad, my dad, they tore apart all my siblings. I know what's next. It's the retirement plan in my family is just get torn apart by smoke wolves. I don't have a 401k. I got fucking smoke wolves. Like, it's his time to tell the really cool story. And what he says is, I've heard them. The end. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
He's heard a wolf howl.
And they mentioned, like, they ask him, why did you have the speaker and the thing playing the chain sounds? And it's like, well, it keeps them away. They don't like the sound of chains.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then Buck says, is
They're
that
very
why
easily startled, the smoke wolves, these terrifying creatures. They're skittish.
Shake a chain at him.
Shake a chain, they'll run away.
Buck says, trying to add to this moment and undercutting it in the worst way you could possibly undercut something. I'd argue the threat hasn't even done a good job selling the threat, but then Buck chimes in to say, it's like if you shake a can of pennies at a dog, they'll stop doing whatever they're doing. It's like, so now they're fucking cute, now they're adorable, now you're you're shaking a can of pennies at the smoke wolves, and you're like, hey, stop. And they're like, whoa.
And they asked the guy why he's like wearing a chain on his belt. And they're like, so is that where you've got it? He's like, yeah. If I encounter one, I can shake this chain and they'll
shaking a can of pennies at them.
It came with the wallet. He bought at Hot Topic. That's why he has that chain.
Yeah. And then he improvises on the fly. No, it's because of the wolves. I get attacked by wolves all the time. That's why I've got this chain.
Stop making fun of my wallet chain. Fucking Gen Z. Too woke for smoke wolves.
But it sounds like he's pretty much got the wolf problem under control.
Yep.
Just with the play the chain sounds. That seems fine so far. It hasn't eaten anybody. Ate that one hog, but that's going to happen.
Yeah. But this guy who's heard them has told them that they kill everybody. But
well, he takes off his glasses and says, I want you guys to look me in the eye and listen to me. These smoke wolves don't mess around. They are pure evil. But what evil have they drank that one hog's bones?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
What's the evil they've done?
So, okay. This guy, his own backstory, he is a 3rd-generation wolf paladin. He is here. He has dedicated not only his life, but the lives of all of his families to containing these wolves, to stopping anybody from entering there at any cost. He's built the bat wall, the great bat wall that extends for a mile in either direction. And he says, you can never go back there. They'll slaughter you for fun. And Buck says, well, this investigation is pretty important to us. Do you mind if we go back there? And he says, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
Dedicated 3 generations.
Chain at him. It's not.
Just
not like
everyone make sure
deal.
you got your chain. You can bring your kids as long as the kids know the rules.
Like, yeah, he gives them the ominous. He's like, well, you've taken your lives in your own hands. But like, no, you took your whole family took sacred vows to like keep people out of this. It's just like the first guy that asked politely. He's like, you know what? Nobody ever asked. Yeah, you go right ahead. Go right ahead, buddy.
There's a moment I like here because Jeff says, I think this is why Trapper sent us here. But there was nothing in Trapper's journal about rattling chains. So if that's true, Trapper is trying to kill them from beyond the grave.
Because they're going to drive off a short distance into a cornfield to discuss whether or not this is too dangerous to pursue.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, I think this is what I think the thing about seeing if wolves exist out here, I think that was just something to get us out here. Like Trapper had to trick them. They're like, no, he's trying to kill you. It's like, no, just go on out there, see if there's regular, normal, docile wolves out there, and just go walk out there. Just don't even bring any guns. Just go out there.
Yeah.
Nude.
Play some coyote sounds, some Garth Brooks. If they hadn't met
this.
Dave, the plan would have worked. They would have died. They would have just gone in and died.
They would have been dead by now.
Yeah, you gave them the specific the tape recorder was I believe trappers, so he knew that would infuriate the deadly mystical wolves and draw them straight to them. He's like, yep.
If you see it hiding in a log, just crawl right in there. Just crawl your face right up to it, face first.
So they drive away. They drive away from Hillbilly Dracula to regroup and talk through what they've just learned. And Buck fucking straight up says, "Now, normally when we find a hillbilly keep out sign, we go right in." It was the one rule that was the whole point.
The one rule.
The entire runtime of this episode was dedicated to we cannot go in without express permission. It wasn't a throwaway line. It was the episode. It was fucking around in the woods because we don't have permission and we can't go in there. And at the very end, this is the very end, he says, normally we don't pay attention to that shit. All right. So
okay,
Wild Bill and Jeff do that thing where they're like, this is what Trapper wanted us for us all along. And Huckleberry, knowing that this is his last swing to get on that sizzle reel, it hasn't happened so far. None of his cool lines have been on there. And he didn't even get on it with "This bitch can scream," which is the best thing he's ever said. So he senses his one last line. He gets the final line of the episode. He says, "The next step for this team is to strap on their light, strap on their weapons, and pull up our balls." End of episode, man.
Yeah.
Take us out.
Again, he knew how the sentence was going to start. Mm-hmm. He did not know how it was going to end.
It starts with 2 strap-ons and it ends with my balls.
Strap on our balls, and pull up our balls.
So now we're halfway through the season, right? We're halfway through the wolf hunt season.
Just miserable.
Reboots are difficult. It is hard to, because how many comic artists, how many times have they rebooted Spider-Man? How many times have they just started fresh in the 70 years that character's been around? Like
27.
Sometimes it doesn't work at all.
Right.
Sometimes it does. I get why they did it. I do. It actually, like, I seriously do get why when they went to a new platform, they took this opportunity to say, look, we painted ourselves so far into a corner. Let's just start with a clean, clear goal. But you are who you are. And no matter where you go, you're bringing yourself with you. And you think you can reset, you think you can restart, you think you can tell people you're somebody else or whatever. But as the Cormac McCarthy novel, one day you're going to wake up and look at the ceiling and guess who's laying there? It's just you.
Beautiful, powerful stuff.
Yeah. Well, I have a quote from Wild Bill that might top it. It's I'm going to the quote of the episode, by the way, Brockway. Sorry to take over your broadcasting duties, but it's when they're coming out of the log. Both men are coming out of the log, and you're thinking, Wild Bill's going to say something weird, but he doesn't. He says something very poignant. He says, "I'm glad to see you two swinging dicks."
He recovers from that well. I think it's right around that same scene that I'd like to pull my favorite quote of the episode from. And that's when he's looking down at the log and he just can't believe what he's seen. And he says, "Well, I'll go to hell." And they left it in there.
Left it in.
His next sentence was, "I'm sorry, let me take that again."
That's what my Vietnamese hairdresser says to me every time.
For my quote, I normally don't like to make fun of people when they just misspeak because I do not have great broadcasting skills. I stumble over words and I forget what I'm saying halfway through a sentence. I get it. And these guys are doing this on the fly. Sure, they could do a second take, but I get, time's limited. Buck's got to get back to work. But when they're talking to Landowner Dave and he's doing his monologue about how you guys don't know what you're in for, he says, anything that goes into no man's land, a lot of times it don't come back. Realize partway through, well, you can't say that everything dies because that's not plausible. So he kind of like walked it back halfway through the sentence, and I respect that. Anything that goes in there don't come back a lot of times.
Sometimes.
Multiple times they've not come back after going in.
Sometimes. That's my favorite Stephen King movie. Sometimes they come back. A lot of times they come back.
It's hit and miss. You never know. It could go either way.
This show is trash.
It's
This
so
is bad.
becoming my least favorite story arc they've done because I think as it goes, they may add more layers of whimsy and weirdness to it. But I think once a show has gotten weird, it's hard to do because what they're doing is they're saying like, look, we went to Joel Schumacher Batman. We're now going to do Chris Nolan, gritty, grounded mountain monsters. It's tough to pull off. We don't appreciate how difficult it was for him to pull it off. It takes us a skilled hand. I am starting halfway through the season. Not many episodes of the show left, period. I'm starting to worry that they're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah. You know, I take everything back because I did find another quote from this episode. It was Wild Bill. He had just eaten a piece of deer poop. And he tells the camera, eating poop is an acquired taste. Can't be rushed. You start out with something small, chipmunk, squirrel. Work your way up the ladder. The master, chomp. Get your big bite of elephant dung.
Because you have to be a Bigfoot teacher, you have to open up your mouth. You have to be a Bigfoot teacher. All your friends are so knocked out. You have to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You have to have the white hot spotlight. You have to be a Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.